What's up, YouTube? Today we are going to be going over the most toxic new Prismatic Hunter build, taking over Trials and Comp. We're going to go through the abilities, aspects, and fragments, the mods that I use to make this build pop off, and at the very end, we're going to go over some weapons that I like to use with it. We're going to be using the Storm's Edge super. This is just a great super. It's very hard to stop. It's very good at closing out games or rounds. Gambler's Dodge in order to get our melee back. It's a key part of this build. Strafe Jump for the movement in PvP. It's very, very good. Snare Bomb for our melee to slow and weaken our enemies. And Swarm Grenade for our grenade ability to scorch our enemies, to slow them, and to zone out reses, which is a reason that this build is so good. Our aspects are Threaded Spectre, so that every time we dodge, we leave behind a strand clone that, when broken, will send out Threadlings and deal a pretty good amount of damage if it hits. Even though it has been nerfed, this is still a really good aspect. And our other aspect is Winter's Shroud. The fragments we're going to use for this build are Facet of Hope, so that every time we have an elemental buff, our dodge regens more quickly. Facet of Dawn, so that our snare bombs proc Radiant for us whenever they damage an enemy. Facet of Blessing, so that anytime we're in a close engagement, need to finish that last guy off and get some health back. We can do that and immediately start regenerating health, gives us a little bit more survivability. Facet of Sacrifice, so that anytime we have an Arc Solar Void buff, our ability final blows are going to give us Darkness Transcendence energy. So obviously, with our Radiant, and we throw the Wombo combo, we get a good chunk of Darkness energy. Facet of Solitude, so rapidly landing precision hits amidst a Severing Blast. And Facet of Courage, so that our grenade and snare bombs deal increased damage whenever we dodge near somebody and slow them. As for our stats, we're going to focus on mobility, so we can have our dodge up as often as possible, so that we can be applying these debuffs and getting our snare bombs back. Because of that, strength really doesn't matter in this build. The more we dodge, the more we're going to have our melee. Same thing with resilience. You know, normally you want to be hitting like tier 3 resilience. We can just fix this issue by throwing on unflinching mods on our chest piece, and that's what we've done here, in order to make it so that we can still get that benefit of having higher resilience while being able to use the stats in places that are a little bit better for us, because our HP doesn't really matter that much in Crucible. The way your movement is and the way that you're hitting your shots or not hitting your shots is going to affect your health way more than resilience in this. Recovery, as a PvP player, I like to have high recovery. I shoot for tier 10 recovery. Having that 100 there just means that I can get back into engagements faster and be able to re-challenge enemies without being worried about my health. And then Discipline, having that up to 90 so that we have more grenades to throw. We're not waiting as long. And finally, Intellect, because this super is just so good. We're taking a look at what mods we're going to use for this. For our helmet mods, we're just going to get Kinetic Targeting and In-Flight Compensator for the aim assistance. Kinetic Loader, since we don't really need dexterity mods, we're running Relativism with Ophidian and Wormhusk, so our weapons are readying super quickly. We don't really need dex mods that freeze up our arm slots. So I'm just running a Loader, Momentum Transfer to continually lower our cooldowns, and Fastball to throw our grenades farther. Unflinching to help deal with that 18 resilience on our kinetic. And then for our boots, we're just going to have orb things. So Better Already, start regenning health, reduce our grenade cooldown, reduce our class ability cooldown so we can dodge more. Reaper to make the orbs that we need. And then Bomber, so that when we dodge, we're also reducing our grenade cooldown. And Distribution, so that we're spreading it nicely across the board and reducing all of our cooldowns. Gonna put up a barrier and think that's gonna stop me, dude. You're not safe behind me. Got one there. Get him for our buddy. Second, aren't we? I don't think I can get there in time. Oh, I got him. Oh, we didn't get the zone. So anyway, guys, that's the video. Don't forget to leave a like and a comment, and if you enjoy the content, please subscribe. We'll see you next time.